which is giant, but it's not the recipe. JB. More from JB than from me. Pani see, everything is. Did you see this? It's mine something? No. I find the lace. Yesterday was fine.
Yeah.
It was just fine, you know. And now it's
Yes, all of them.
yeah, that's another. Questo non è tanto. So the automat doesn't pull.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. You know, I don't know what should I do, but this is not good at all. At all. From this car out $80. Now I wanted to give me $20. It doesn't give me. I do not like this at all. Now, Isabella, can I put this inside?
Yes.
Everything?
Yes. Okay. Bye.
It's okay. This is so nice to put the laundry to be close to the shelter, because right now it is very, very cold outside, and it is really, really, oh my gosh, this is nice to have a laundry very close to the shelter, because when it's so far away you have to go with the clothes and everything, and that's why I like Manhattan, but we'll see what the future gives me. Probably the future gives me that. My God gives me that I will be in Manhattan. This would be nice. Of my
Hi, can you please tell me your name and where you're living right now?
Hi, my name is Karina Tiotuico. I am 56 years old and I am living with my son in a homeless shelter in Manhattan on Broadway.
And how long have you been living in that shelter?
I am living in the shelter over 2 years.
I'm going to answer that question again. How long have you been living in the shelter?
I am living in the shelter over 2 years.
And why have you been living there for so long? Why haven't you moved? You can answer once it stops speaking.
Because we could not find another apartment here in New York. We went first to Brooklyn, and the apartment in Brooklyn was good enough, but a friend of mine even, Amanda Hasberg is her name, but she has 4 or 5 cats, and my son is allergic on cats, so somebody said to us that we have to go to the PATH, to the PATH, in the Bronx. And from the Bronx, they moved us first to Brooklyn for 2 weeks. And from Brooklyn, we moved to Manhattan.
So, what is your room at the shelter like? Can you describe it to me? Tell me what it looks like.
Well, a homeless shelter is not easy because, first of all, we have, in a homeless shelter, we have curfews. And if we pass the curfew, then it is not good. Then we don't get heat or we don't get warm water. But anyway, sometimes the maintenance guys, they are not watching, and we got black mold and everything. But what I did, I put some bleach and I cleaned the place.
And tell me, what do the beds look like? Where do you sleep? Where does your son sleep?
The bunk beds, they were okay, but one of it was broken. And because it was broken, my son had to sleep for 1 month in the bathtub. I have spoken with the case managers and everything, but they didn't do anything about it. So it was really, really bad and tough. And for a 16-year-old son, which is almost 6 feet long, to sleep in the bathtub, this is not really pleasant. And I'm sleeping on a chair with the head down on the table because I cannot climb the bed because I have my feet are bad and I have lymphedema. And having lymphedema, you have just water on the feet, and my health is not very well.
And tell me about how it feels to be stuck there for so long. The family stays an average of, around 1 year. You've stayed for almost 2. Why have you been there for so long? What answers have they been giving you?
They gave me all kinds of answers. They don't have apartments. Then the public assistance dropped, and they lost my documents. And because they lost my documents, I had to wait for another 2 months or 3 months. They made the documents back, but then they had another issue: no apartments, and We want a apartment at least for one bedroom, because I can sleep in the living room and then on a couch, nice and comfortable, and then my son in a bedroom.
Tell me about your son. Tell me about JB. What does he mean to you? Obviously a lot, but tell me more and about living here with him in London.
My son and me, we are getting very, very good along, because for a teenager, for a 16-year-old man with a mother, it's not really easy to get along with me, but we have to, because otherwise would not be good, right? And but sometimes he has outbursts like a teenager has, but then he realized that we are good where we at.
And tell me, earlier you mentioned something that, he suffers from anxiety.
Yes, my son suffers from anxiety and adjustment disorder, because moving from an apartment with 2 bedrooms to the shelter, it's something else.
And can you just say again where you moved from before this? Where was your apartment?
It was in Kentucky, in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. In 2004, we moved from Germany to Kentucky. Now, probably you would ask why Germany, because in 1986, I escaped Romania communism by swimming the Danube River. I made it to Yugoslavia, but I had a knowledge already for 6 or 7 foreign languages. Otherwise, they would get me on the border very easy. But I passed to Trieste, to Italy, and from Italy, with trucks, with huge trucks, I was going to Austria, and from Austria to Germany. And in Germany, I was settled 17 years. I met my ex-husband. I would say ex-husband because we are divorced from 2009. He's from the Philippines, and I met him in Grafenwöhr, because Grafenwöhr is the biggest place for training the American soldiers for the war. And my ex-husband was a lieutenant colonel in the army, but then he got retired, of course, and he was moved to Fort Knox, and he was even promoted. We were happy for a while, but then in 2009, I guess it's modern to get divorced or whatever. So that's why I had to move out from my family house, what we had together, and a nice family house in Kentucky. And I moved to an apartment with 2 bedrooms.
And tell me why you moved to New York. What was the reason behind you moving to New York?
Moving to New York was not easy, but it was my son's decision. Moving to New York was not easy, but it was my son's decision. And based on my son's education, we moved to New York because he has been accepted. When he was 11 years old, he got a scholarship in Juilliard as a pianist, but then afterwards he chose the pipe organ, or I might think the pipe organ chose him. And he is very comfortable playing it. So we have to stay in New York till my son is finished with Juilliard College, or probably he might choose Curtis, Philadelphia, I don't know.
And
Teenagers are thinking from today and tomorrow.
tell me more about your son. Like, is he your priority right now? Do you think he's happy in the shelter? Are you happy in the shelter?
No, we are not happy at all, but we have to take the life how it is for a while, until really we get a good and nice place. And I hope that my first Christmas and my first Christmas tree will be 2018.
I'm just gonna let her finish.
Mhm.
That was really good.
Mhm. Mhm. There's lots to do in the laundry.
It's actually really interesting watching
Yes.
her
Yes.
manage all of
Yes. I know. It's really ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm.
But I think we're nearly done. I think maybe another 10 more minutes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Will be good. The sound is much better now.
Okay. Oh, good.
Yeah.
It is not easy to see for a mother that the son for 16-year-old has to live in a shelter and struggling. And I hope so, what I said for Christmas, that I can have a better life for him. And I just hope, because we have hope in God and not in nobody else here. And we hope that God gave us a better life. Because in 2017, still in December, next month actually is my birthday, and would be a nice birthday gift to be in a new apartment and to put my first Christmas tree in New York.
And sorry, I just blanked because that was pretty moving. Tell me where we are right now, and sort of like why. Just sort of say where we are right now, just for the camera, and how often you come here.
We are in a laundromat close to the Regent's Family Shelter on Broadway on the 103rd Street West. And I'm coming every week here because also I have to take care very well on the bed sheets and all this stuff, because the bed sheets has to be always clean, because we had several times issues with bed bugs and scabies and all this stuff, so we better take care of this.
Okay, and this the last question is, you told me recently that you got an interview, right? An interview to potentially get supportive housing. So tell me about that, and that's how we can round this all up.
Well, I want an interview to have, example, by Help Me Howard or...
Oh no, not that. I mean, you said that they give you a letter saying that you could get supportive housing.
Oh yes,
Yeah, that.
yes. I got a letter finally. I think through my praying a lot, because that's why I believe in God, because He helped me to get finally a letter. And the letter is on the 16th of November, still this month. I have an interview coming up for supporting house. We applied by both. We applied for NYCHA, the just like Housing Connect, and for the supportive house. Because supporting housing, it's not really bad. You have a security guard inside, but they are taking care of people what they are really like in anxiety disorder or adjustment disorder or something like this. How my son is.
That's good. Just one last thing. Let's just get to the beginning again, where you said, "My name is Karina. I'm 6 and I'm living at a shelter in New York." Just that's it, and then I'm done.
Mm-hmm. My name is Karina Tiotuico. I am a music professor, and I am living in a homeless shelter on Broadway, 103rd Street West.
Can you please tell me your name, your age, and what you do?
Hi, my name is George Tweeko. I'm 16 years old and I'm a musician.
Where do you practice your music and where do you play your music?
I practice here at the Fifth Avenue Presbyterian Church, and I go to Firo LaGuardia High School.
Can you tell me about each of the instruments you play, how you came to discover them, and maybe which one you love the most?
I was 5 years old when I was introduced to the piano by my mother. The organ I saw when I was like 8 years old in the church. I thought it was loud at first, but when I heard it play it soft, I really liked the smooth textured sound to it. And I started taking organ when I was about 9 or 10. The bassoon I've been introduced by LaGuardia, my high school, and it's my second instrument there. It's currently my main instrument, LaGuardia, because for some reason they don't allow me to play piano there anymore. And guitar, I kind of just wanted to learn for the sake of learning it.
Cool. Okay. I'm just going to tilt you, actually. Can you just turn this way a tiny bit? I just want your shoulders to face me a bit. Yeah, like that.
No problem.
Cool. Alright. I'm going to continue. Alright. So, tell me more about playing the organ. Would you say it's your favorite instrument, your primary instrument?
I don't really have a favorite when it comes to instruments. I believe every instrument has its place, in its one particular branch of like ways of playing it. I do love the organ. I believe it will be my main instrument in the future because I will be going for college for organ, not piano. Piano, I'd say, would be more of a hobby like jazz or something like that because piano, I haven't learned how to play chords or anything. I can read music just fine. However, when it comes to chords, I'm lacking.
And tell me about the program that you're in right now. If I'm not mistaken, you're in Juilliard's pre-college program, right?
Yes, except it is an executive. It's exclusive type because I actually have a teacher that teaches me at this church, for example, instead of me going to Juilliard for a group lesson because that would take away time from my class. So, and that's pretty much the program there.
Cool. And can you tell me about your teachers and what happens during these lessons for this Juilliard pre-college program?
As in past to right now, or?
Yeah, like right now. Tell me how a lesson usually goes, how you prepare for it, how much you have to practice, stuff like that.
I usually practice every day, about 2 hours.
Okay, start that again, just because my voice is over.
I practice about every day for about 2 hours, and the lesson basically goes, I come in, put on my special shoes, because for organ you need to have special shoes. They're like dance shoes. They have like a fuzzy tip where you can slide on them, and I just play the piece he wanted me to play for that day, and he tells me how I did. Sorry.
Okay.
Mostly it goes okay. It is very hard to please my teacher, but that's the price for being able to play music very well, and I would like to do that.
So tell me about like your weekly schedule, because you are a full-time high school student at LaGuardia. You are doing this program, you are practicing, and you're also practicing for 40-second musical.
Yeah. So
take me through a typical week in JB's academic and musical life, and you can try and be as descriptive or as visual as you'd like.
So, okay, in the week, I wake up about like 6:30 a.m., come to school about like 7 a.m. because I eat breakfast there, so my mom doesn't have to make me breakfast every morning because we are low on funds and financially low. And when I get to school, talk to some of my friends. The day goes on. I have my classes, go through gym first period, which is very tiring, especially when you just woke up and you just ate. And then I go to chemistry, then to math, then to English, then to U.S. history. I have next I have lunch. The lunch is, I guess, in my school, and after that I go to my my instrumental classes. So 7th I have my bassoon class. 8th is junior orchestra, where I still play bassoon, but with an entire orchestra. And 9th I have Spanish. And then 10th is musical pit. However, because I'm in 42nd Street Musical right now, I then basically just go to downstairs and practice my pieces for 42nd Street, and then I have rehearsal. I haven't been able to really practice my organ lately because of the 42nd Street Musical, though, because it takes a very long time, about 4:30 to 7:30 every day, so there's no really time to practice. So right now what I'm doing with my teacher is about supervised practicing, where basically I practice, but my teacher's watching over me, making sure what I do. It has helped me a lot because I've seen more details than I've never had. Like, I'm starting to notice how long I hold notes for, if I hold it for like a split second long, because that's how accurate you have to be when it comes to organ. You have to be very accurate, because when it's like certain timing with like notes and rhythms and all that stuff, it's very crucial when it comes to playing music.
So tell me a little bit more about 42nd Street Musical. Like, what is your role and how often a week you've been practicing?
So for 42nd Street Musical, the music isn't particularly hard. It took me about like 2 or 3 days, I'd say. Can we actually go through that? I kind of started.
Sure. So why don't we go again from you telling me about 42nd Street Musical, the music, and you're playing Oscar, right?
Yes, Oscar.
And then you can tell me about your character, okay? And make sure
Not a lot there, to be honest.
So make sure you look here. It's okay if you look.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
It's okay if you flicker your eyes now and then, but try and come back to my hand.
Also, sorry about my coughing. I feel like I
worry.
still a bit of like a cold.
No, it's fine.
Thank you.
Okay. 42nd Street Music.
So about that, it's very tiring because I go from 4:30 to 7:30. The pieces aren't particularly hard. It took me about 2 or 3 days to learn one of them, surprisingly, because first I had trouble because the rhythm was off, and it's like, it was the first time doing that type of music because it's more swing, jazzy, like all around like joyful to play around with, not, classical and all that stuff, because the difference between classical and this type of music is the articulation. Articulations, whenever you play like a certain group of notes in a way where like you lift early on a note, or finish a phrase in a song. A phrase in a song would mostly be one measure long, and then you would because when you play the organ, you want to play it how you would do like singing. Like, you have to take a breath every now and then, so you do the same with the organ. So you think like a singer in that aspect. With piano, it's much easier because you don't have to be legato all the time, which means basically to be connected all the time, unless told otherwise, of course. And so for 42nd Street, I'm actually not usually called, but whenever I am, I usually do play some pieces, and then I do my homework for the rest of the time, because I'm just sometimes I'm just there just to do homework and stuff, because it's actually very nice to do homework with people around me and all that. I feel more peaceful for whatever reason, even though I can hear the tap dancers like really loud. It gets very loud, but I usually tune it out with the music I listen to on my headphones.
Cool. So why don't you tell me about homework for a second? You said you kind of like doing homework with other people. So tell me about doing homework at home in the shelter versus doing homework in like a totally different environment.
It's more boring when it comes to the shelter because I'm just sitting there doing homework, not doing really much anything else, just writing. And then when I'm at 42nd Street, because there's people there, I don't know, I feel more concentrated for some reason. Even though I should be distracted, but no, that's not the case. I'm more concentrated.
And tell me about where you live. Describe your room to me, or the room in which you live, because I've never been in there.
So you walk into the room. There's a really tiny hallway where my drawer is, where I keep my clothes. Excuse me.
It's okay. Do you want to do that again?
Yeah.
Okay. And make sure you... Is it easier if I'm here or hand?
Hand.
Hand?
Yeah.
Not my... Okay.
I'm sorry. not
No,
trying to...
no, I know. Okay. So let's take it from... Describe the room and the shelter that you live in.
Okay. So you'd walk in, you'd see a very tiny hallway, first thing you'd see is a drawer and like all my trophies and awards, because I've been in tons of recitals back in Kentucky. My mom made the recitals. Certainly, they're not really trophies to be very proud of, but the one in particular I'm very proud of is the Juilliard Crystal Trophy, because it's the scholarship. That's what the scholarship is. They don't do certificates. They basically do crystal trophies. So it's very heavy, very fragile. So I tend to keep it very safe. And when you look to the right, you'll just immediately see two beds, like one on the right, one on the left. And then you walk out the hallway, you look to the left, you see like a kitchen, not very clean, mostly, just like a stove, basically. No oven or anything like that. No microwave. The microwave is actually in the lobby when you go to get food, because they do provide food for you. And it's not really good, though. They're just like sometimes sandwiches or like boxed lunches or something like that. And behind the beds is a table where I eat or do my homework, and then there's like a door. There's two doors. One to the left is my closet, and then one in front of me is the bathroom with the shower and all that.
Cool. So tell me about the other people in the shelter. I know it's just for families. Are you friends with any of them?
No, I'm friends with the security guards mostly, because I've known them for a like amount of time now. About 2 years. I do not communicate with any of the children in the shelter, though, mostly because I don't know, maybe they're a bit too wild. I think, but they are indeed in need for like a home and all that stuff, and I appreciate the shelters for like doing this for us. We're supposed to be moving this holiday, hopefully.
And tell me about. Sorry, my mind froze for a second. Tell me what it's like to live in the same room basically as your mom. Like, you guys must be super close, and you're like a 16-year-old boy.
Yeah, there's no privacy. There's absolutely no privacy when it comes to these types of rooms. The only privacy I get is if she leaves, does like laundry or something, because there's no laundry in our shelter. There's a laundromat, and then when she like takes a shower or something like that, and that's the only privacy I ever really get. So yeah, it's not really exactly fun, and plus like, it's a very closed space. So like my mom's either right behind me or like right beside me, and it just kind of gets annoying.
But you guys must be super close, huh? Are you guys? Would you say?
My mom would do anything for me, and when I mean anything, I mean gosh darn everything. As in, for example, when I didn't get into Rising Stars, which is this year's Schools Talent show, I didn't get in. Because I understood why. It was just like because there was restart.
Sure. We're gonna go back from your relationship with your mom, and then you can say again that she'd do anything for you, because I think I actually cut in a bit at the front, and then you can go to that example. Okay. And
my mom would basically do anything for me. When I mean anything, I mean anything. As in, she will get clothes. She's the only one that really buys clothes for me. She never buys any clothes for herself, which I very feel sorry for. And she always makes me food, and she's a very caring mother. It's the best mother I think you could possibly have, to be honest, in some aspects. And the one reason of why I believe she does anything for me is because for Rising Stars, there was this show. It's called Rising Stars. It's in my school. It's a talent show. You showcase your talent, like be it being a speech or a poem, a song, singing, dancing, any of that. Me and my friend Dylan, we wanted to do the Libertango, which was a 2-piano duet. We found an arrangement of it. However, there was another group that was doing the Libertango, except it was a different arrangement, and it was with a viola and a cello rather than just like a piano. But the thing was they had dancers. Plus, their piece contrasted too much with ours, so it was just not possible. When my mom heard this, she was absolutely she just basically exploded, and she wrote the director, and she wrote Ms. Faison, which is like the head of like the drama basically. She's the advanced placement for drama AP. And It wasn't exactly good of what she did, but I see why she did it, because she's a mother and she cares for me.
Yeah, and it all comes from a good place, right?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me, you guys moved to New York largely because of your education, right?
Yes,
So-
and not just that, actually.
Yeah, so tell me about why you guys moved to New York.
I was just sick of Kentucky because there was just nothing there for me. And there was no really my organ teacher. While he did teach me some things, he didn't teach me all the things my teacher currently right now, Patrick Krieger, is teaching me. The teacher I had in Kentucky, his name was Kevin Faulkner. He was not really that good because he didn't teach me the most important thing about practicing. That was details, basically. And I had two piano teachers there, Cedar Roberts and Wesley Roberts, and they were my first teachers, and I appreciate everything they've done for me and getting me into LaGuardia and all that. Without them, I couldn't have made it in there. They always invite me to their place in Campbellsville. They both teach at Campbellsville University, which is basically it's a musical university, but not as popular as say Juilliard or Curtis or any of that matter. But one of the other reasons why I left Kentucky was, well, the classmates I had there, they were just I don't know, they thought I wasn't normal. They thought I was really weird, annoying. They called me gay for playing the piano, which doesn't make any sense. And they basically just didn't like what I did. They didn't they didn't have interest in music until I came back in the summer, because I came to my dad, because we have a thing where I go to my dad like every summer, and I basically went there. I played in the church, and they basically congratulated me of all my accomplishments and all that. So I kind of I'm trying to look for the word of basically like not saying it's kind of, I don't know what to say. Like I showed them basically, like as in I showed them, but I don't know what else. Like
You kind of feel like you proved yourself, or kind of justified all the things.
I justified to them. Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Okay. Should we take it just from that bit?
Sure.
I can cut all this, as in I'll be editing.
Great.
So why don't we take it from you?
Sorry about all the editing you have to do.
No, that's fine. Sorry, I just want to make sure. Do you want to put it inside?
No, it's okay.
Okay. Yeah. Right. So let's go from when you came back.
When I came back for summer, I came to my dad because I visit him about every summer. It's just a thing we do. And when I went over there, I was asked to play in the church. When I did, the new organist there, he acknowledged me, and he asked me to play. And when I played, I basically justified to them that they were wrong about me and that I could be the things I wanted to be. And overall, I just showed them basically that I can do what they couldn't.
That's awesome. And so here you have all these crazy commitments, and then when you guys moved here, obviously housing is an issue in New York for almost everyone, right? The prices are ridiculous. There's not enough supply. There's a huge amount of demand.
Yes. Since my mother and father are divorced, my father does pay child support. However, I don't feel he gives me enough. He gives me about $700 a month, which is not exactly enough to live in a place like New York. And while my mom does work, she doesn't really get paid all that much. And like I said, financially, we're not exactly good as of this moment.
So have you ever felt, tell me about the toll that living in the shelter has ever had on you, maybe in the context of all the commitments you have now, right? It's not just like you're a normal 16-year-old kid, you're that, and you're doing all this musical stuff.
So in the shelter, they do have a small piano. However, the keys are completely out of tune. For example, if you played an A on there, it would play like a C sharp, and basically, it just doesn't sound good in general. But the one thing about the living in a shelter is you have a curfew. So basically, I cannot stay over at a person's house, or not even stay very late. The limit is about 3:30 in the morning. If I'm not there by 3 a.m. or something, they'll basically kick us out and send us back to the path, which is the place where you go again to find shelter. And basically, if I get home after 9, my mom has to come down. She has to sign me in for curfew, and I basically just go upstairs and I, either play video games, watch YouTube, or just go to sleep, which is very rare because I don't sleep.
Why don't you sleep?
I don't know. I'm just a bit of a night owl. I just don't like. I don't know. I just don't like sleeping. It's weird.
So, has that ever, I don't know, have you ever felt like frustrated or angry or just like, why is it taking so long?
Yes. Very actually. I have blown up many times in front of my mom, and I feel sorry when I do that. Like, excuse me. I just basically lose it. I scream at her. I punch the wall. I'm never like broken or anything like that. But like I just get really frustrated when I see we're not out yet. It's been 2 years, and that's not exactly the right amount of time for living in a shelter. I think it's like by like at least 1 year, right? You could just move out and go to your apartment or whatever.
Why do you think you've been stuck for so long? Just in your opinion, what do you possibly think is the reason? And then we can talk a bit more about that.
To be honest, I don't really have a clue. It could be financial, or it could just be that other people are trying to get a home too, and they've been living there, who knows, maybe for like 3 or 4 years or something like that. So they just have to, they just have to get there first. Only bird gets the worm, I guess, because most of them have been living there more and have come there like earlier than us. It's just our second year, which may sound like a lot, but in this case, I guess it's not.
And who do you think is responsible, right? We live in the city where you've got the case managers at the shelter, and then there's you and your mom who is, maybe your mom's trying to get a job, you're trying to get along, and then it goes higher and higher and up. Who do you think is responsible for making sure that there is enough housing for people to get out of the shelters into affordable housing?
Definitely the case manager, because we basically sometimes we usually have housing interviews, and we go down, we just talk about our lives and all that, and basically she just takes that information and just files it. We have no idea what happens after that.
So there's not a lot of communication, and you're just waiting.
Really, yeah, we're just basically the longest waiting room you'll ever be in.
Have there?
Useful. And you must be wondering how you tune a pipe organ.
Yeah.
You have to go up there.
Have you ever done that?
No, I want to though, to be honest, but it's a very messy, dirty job because of the dust it collects and all that. Mm-hmm. All right. So, let's see what I'm going to use. I gotta practice this a bit because I haven't played this in a while.
Go for it. Do you just act totally natural?
What do I do?
We're not gonna get in trouble for being here, are we?
No, I'm allowed.
If it's open, you're allowed. So.
Usually, yeah. Usually I'd have to go get the keys, but since it's open, nope.
It means that you're allowed to be. I never. Not like I can notice that you're messing up.
No, that's clear. That D is broken. Sorry.
song ends abruptly.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
Bye, Tyrone.
All right. See you. All right.
All right.
Alright, I just wanted like footage of you walking out.
Walking out? Oh, okay.
So really quickly, I'm just gonna get.
Let me. Should I get my jacket on? 'Cause I'm kind of cool. Is that okay?
No, put on your jacket. Yeah, put on your jacket. Take your time. Oh just gonna film you. If you've ever wondered what it's like to be a Kardashian, it's like this.
No, thank you. That is the least of my concerns. Ugh, I hate this happens.
Okay.
Oh, it's so weird.
Well, it looks like I could fall upside down. I don't know why.